Hello guys, my name is Khan, and in today's video I will show you guys that how you can create charts, and especially with the help of VBA. And then I think in this video I will also show that how you can use the Visual Basics to put your charts in an area where you like, and even when you keeps on adding the data in your sheet, the chart placement will keeps on changing automatically. So firstly, as you know that how we usually insert a chart in our Excel. So mainly what we do is that we select the area of the data, and then we go to insert, and within the insert, so for this video I will be using the first chart. So in this chart you can see that it have added the 4 bars for my products. It's a hypothetical data that I have created, and it's showing me the prices. The height of the bars are just showing the prices. But suppose if I want to do the same thing with the help of VBA, so how can I do that? So it's very easy. I think we can again use the first. What we'll do, we can record the macro, so that you don't need to memorize the syntax most of it. So what I will do, I will go to developer tab, and then within the developer tab I will record macro. I will be naming it as chart, and I will say okay. So first I will do, I will select the data on which I want to construct my chart, and then I will go to insert, and within the insert I will select this chart type, and my chart is ready. Now what I will be doing is that I will go to developer tab and I will stop recording it. So now let's say if I delete this chart again, and if I go to my developer Visual Basic, so this is the module that I have recorded. So what it's doing is that actually it's saying first select, because if you remember that I've selected A1, and then I have selected this whole area which is from here till here. So I click the down arrow button. So you can say that here is saying that I have pressed down arrow and selected all the area. And then what I have done is here is an important thing that I have added the chart. The chart is 2, and the further type, the first type is, we are calling it as 201, have named it as 201, and have selected that chart type. And then after that I have added the source data. Actually, if I comment out the first 2 rows, actually these are not necessary things. So even if I control save, and now if I press execute this macro, hopefully it will work again. So as you can see that even my chart is executing and my macro is running fine. So actually the important lines to insert a chart is these 3, that you first define the chart which you want to insert, and then you also tell them that from where the data is coming. So but before going further, I think here what I'm saying, it's telling us that I'm selecting the data from A1 to B5, but this is not dynamic. Why I'm saying, so suppose if I insert another product F, and then I say the price is 150, but if I run the macro again, it will not showing me the product F, because the product F is beyond the range of the data source. So in order to make your charts dynamic, there are 2 ways that I can discuss that how you can make your charts or your code more soft coded instead of hard coded, because currently it's a hard coded because there is a fixed numbers coming here, and then these numbers are not changing according to my data. So in order to do that, the first option that I really like is that you come to range, and then you specify any one cell in this region, data region. So suppose A3, you can specify A1 too. So A3 dot current region. So current region is a very useful, especially in VBA, to make your codes more soft coded. So what it's happening is that when the cell is in A3, it will see that where is the last empty row. It's A7. So it will define that the data range is ending at A7, and the last column which is occurring here is the empty column is AC. So it's automatically will define that the data range is starting from A1 till B6. So that's why the current region option is very important. So now if I execute it, let's see if I play it, you can see that product F is there too. And now suppose if I delete it, the chart, and if I delete my row 6, now if I execute it, you can see that I only have my data range also changed according to my current data. So this makes your code more soft coded. The other option that you can do is will do the same thing. So what I will be doing is, first I will go to my first rows above, and I will define one variable which is last row, and then I'm saying last row is equal to active sheet dot cells. Then I will say rows count dot count, and then the comma after one, you can I'm specifying the first column, which is column A. Then I'm saying dot end brackets, and within that I say Excel up, and then dot row, enter. So this, what it will do, it will help me to define the last row, what is the last row of my data set. So now I can use that variable LR to make to do the same thing, to let the VBA decide that which is the last row of my data. And I will copy it, paste it here, and now what I will do it a bit in a different way. Oh, sorry, another thing that I need to define is the chart range. So I'll be defining another variable set chart range. So it will specify that what is the range that I want to select, and here I will say the range A1. It's VBA is not case sensitive, so don't worry, till B, and then I have to define my last row, and the last row will be coming from LR. So I'll say last row, and now instead of defining this thing, I will be just calling my variable which is a range, which is a chart range. So I'll say chart G. So let's see it works or not. So let's say if I execute this code, you can see it's adding the chart. But let's see if I insert another product F, and this time 200, and now let's see if I execute. So it's doing the same thing what I have done with this chart region option, but I have shown you that this is another way that if you want to make your code soft coded, you can use the last row of your data, and then you can use the last row of your data into your code so that whenever the data got updated, your code will automatically realize that your data is updated, and your last row will also update. And then overall, whatever you have run, in our example, we are running a graph on a given data, so that your graph also get updated automatically based on the new data. So, but now an interesting thing that I want to do is that I want that my chart width change in some particular way, especially in terms of the width of columns and the width of rows, and also I want to place that chart somewhere below my data. So suppose 3 rows below my data. So even if I keeps on inserting my data, my charts keeps on appearing below 3 rows below my data. So in order to do that, how can I do that? So in order to do that, what I will be doing is that first I will be using another variable or an object which will be set chart area, and then I will saying don't be confused, I will let you know where I will be using this chart area, and then I will saying range, specifying the range starting from A, and because I want to insert my chart below my data, so I will be saying and last row plus 3. So suppose I want to insert it after 3 from here, so or maybe for 4th. So if I will say 4th, my chart will 1 2 3 4, the 4th row, it will start from here, which will be A10, and then I will be saying and again, and then I will specify the column, suppose E. So make sure that you entered E column first, then E, and then again and last row plus suppose we can play with these numbers 10. So now here what I have after this column point when I have inserted the chart, now I want to place that chart somewhere. But in order to place that chart, I will create another object, set chart object. So I'm creating another object is equal to active chart, because active chart parent will allow me to change the shape of my chart. So after that, I'll be saying using the same object which I have just defined is equal to active chart parent, and then I'll be saying top. So from where the top will start is equal to, I will be saying this chart area which I have defined above. So I'll say that my top of the chart will start from the range top which I have defined above. So I will say dot top. So in the same way, I can copy this thing and I can paste it for top left. So actually what I'm doing is that I'm saying that my chart dimensions becomes the same as the range dimensions that I have specified above. So if I do it, so left, I have to change it left here, and then here, then I will say height, I will change it here too, and the same way I will do it here again. So as you can see that I'm telling VBA that change the dimension of my chart according to the exact dimension according to the range that I have selected here, chart area, which is the object that I have selected. So now let's see if I execute it, what to do. So you can see what is happening is that VBA realized that I want to insert my chart 4 rows below the column A. So it's starting from A. So this is A. So this is the last row which I have selected. The last row is 6, and then it have added 4 rows, 1 2 3 4, and then in the 4th row it have started my graph. And as I told that my range is from A10 till E16. So therefore then my width of the plot is till A till E column, and then my height of my column is again based on this range here. Then my this, if you can call it height, so height is again the number of rows that I have added. So I have added about 6 rows because the difference is 6. So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6, and in the same way I have defined the whole dimension according to this range selection. So suppose now the important thing is now that if I change this region, my chart will automatically change according to that. So let's see, if I say 15 and if I delete this chart and insert it again, you can see that my chart region is changing according to the cells region that I have selected. Again, if I change it to 8 and if I delete this, and so whenever you entered, you working on this data set, and if you run the macro will automatically insert the chart into the defined selected place. So let's see if I execute it again. You can see it's here. It don't look good a bit. I will change it to 12 or 14, and even you can change the column to, I can change to D column. D. If I execute it, you can see now my chart is ending in D column, and it seems a bit fine. Now again the other thing that I would like to specify in the end, let's suppose if I add another column here, row, sorry, here, G, and say 150, and now let's see if I execute it. My chart currently is appearing after 1 2 and 3 rows, but now it will come because I have coded it in a dynamic way. So now my chart will probably appear after G is the last, will be considered the last row when I will be executing. Then it will be my chart will be shown 3 rows according to the last row. So let's see if I execute it again. Let's see if I execute it again. You can see that my chart is placed according to the new data, or whenever I change the data, it will get into what I have done. If I have updated the data, and then my chart location will also update according to the new data. So in this video we have discussed that how you can record the macro to insert a chart, and then you can also how you can change different things to make your macro more dynamic, especially with the help of change region option, or also by selecting the last row of your data. And then I also have shown you guys that how you can place your chart in a particular region. So that's all about today's video.